Hi, this is Trey Passer. I wanted to do this video because the Superman movie that James Gunn is directing for the DC Studios is in Cleveland this week, and they've been filming on the street. And so this is the first time we've had to actually see David Cornsweet and the rest of the cast on location filming. And there's a bunch of pictures that they got taken by various people that of the cast and stuff, and Superman in the suit and other characters and stuff, and I just want to present them here and give you my opinion on them. I know various people on YouTube have already commented on them, but I wanted to wait until I got a bunch of them, and I have I think about 20 something maybe, and so I just want to go over it and give you my opinion. Of course, I just started with the first image that was released of David Cornsweet, in his Superman suit, and of course, it's been inspired by various things, various designs and stuff. The New 52, a lot of Kingdom Kong and all that stuff. So, but I just wanted to started off with this first before I move on to the next first picture. So let's get right to it, and I'll be right back. Okay, now this image, of course, this is the first image we've seen of him in daylight and of the full suit, of him standing up, David Cornsweet. Okay, I like the colors. The colors are bright, a lot brighter than, of course, Henry Cavill's one, which was saturated. And then of course we know this one has the trunks, okay, and it actually fit nice. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about the Kingdom Come logo at first, but I think it does match with the overall aesthetic of the suit, and I think it looks good. I know some people think in some shots it looks baggy, but I think it was perfectly designed that way. But I like it. I like the look of it. Like, especially in the daylight, it looks good. The color, I like it. I think it pops, the blue and then the red, which separates the top from the bottom, the belt with the red loops there. I think it matched. I like it. I like the look of it. And of course, this is the first time we see him standing up in it. Of course, and I definitely want to see how he flies and how it looks when he's in flight and whatever. So that's why I can't wait till we get a trailer for this. But I like it. I know a lot of people. There were a lot of people hating on it, saying it looks like cosplay, a cheap cosplay, Party City, all the usual crap. But I like it. I'm being objective to. Like I said, I would prefer the old logo, and I definitely think he's going to get another suit. I think this is the initial suit he's going to have in the movie, and then I think he's going to get the original one with the old-fashioned S on it and stuff. I think he definitely is going to get a new suit in this movie, another suit. I think he's going to start off with this one and have it for the majority of the movie, but I think towards the end of the movie he's going to come back and get the maybe even from the Fortress and get the original suit with the big, the original Christopher Reeve S on it and stuff. I definitely think that's going to happen in this movie. That's my opinion. But I think he looks good in it. Okay, I think the shorts match and everything. I think it looks good to me. That's my opinion. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, this image is a side shot of him standing in front of an army vehicle that's on the side. So I don't know if this is what part of the movie this is in. We can only speculate, but this is just a side view of him. And like I said, it looks good. I think he looks good. I love his hair. He has a curl in his hair, and I think it looks good. The way the cape drapes from the back, I think it just perfectly goes with the rest of the suit. And again, like I said, I like the color. I love the way it looks in the daylight. And of course, like I said, most of the scenes will be in daylight in this movie. Obviously, Superman, he's not Batman, so I like it. I think it looks good, and it goes. And that doesn't bother me at all, okay? So I know people see a little bit of wrinkle and they think, oh, he has a baggy suit on, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think it works for that, at least in this picture. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, this image is like the other one I showed, the first one, except this is a little bit bigger. Okay, and like I said, I think it works. Again, I like the color, the blue, the shade of red, and I think he just, again, yeah, David Cornsweet is 6'4", so I think he's as big as Christopher Reeve was. So I think he's going to look good in the movie, as tall as he is. And the suit works. I know, again, people think the suit is extra baggy, but I know people are saying they'll fix it in post and stuff. And I think they made it a little bit loose so that way he can move around in it. And so it doesn't, it doesn't restrict him. Like, it's not as tight. Of course, obviously, as Henry Cavill, it showed off his muscles. I think this one was purposely made this way so it would hang off him a little bit, so that way it's not as tight. And like I said, I think eventually he will get another suit by the end of the movie, because I think there's a scene where he goes to the Fortress, and I think that's where he's going to get his classic Superman suit, which I think he will have at the end of the movie. So, but again, I like this picture. again, I think he looks good in it, okay, and he looks like Superman to me, so I'm happy with this. So I'll be right back with another picture. Okay, this picture is another picture of him, but this is of him actually walking across some rubble. I think this is part of another picture that you'll see later of him walking. I think he's walking towards Lois, okay, and I think this is probably after a building collapse or something, because I see that in the back of him you see some destruction and stuff there, and a car there, and a park bench in front of that. But I think, again, the cape, I like the way the cape doesn't exactly touch the floor, but it flows in the back of him, and I like the look of it. Like I said, he looks good in it. Again, like I said, I know some people have been saying, oh, it's too baggy, you can't see his muscles, he's worked out and all this stuff, you can't see his muscles in it, but it doesn't bother me at all. I think he looks perfectly fine, like he looks like Superman, so I'm happy with this picture as well. So I'll be right back with another. Okay, now this picture, okay, is the picture I showed you previously, except it's expanded out a little bit, and now you can see Mr. Terrific in this picture as well. Eddie Gathegi, who plays Mr. Terrific, Michael Holt, who I like his look too, you know, with the face mask and the jacket design and stuff. You can't really see the back of his jacket and all stuff. It has fair play on it and stuff, and he looks really good to me. And again, like I said, David Cornsweet looks good in the suit right there. They're doing some adjustments to it, I guess. But Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific looks good, and he's going to play an important part in this movie because you'll see a couple of more shots of him with Superman, so it looks like they're teaming up together, okay? And we're going to see him, and I think we could even see some Daily Planet staffers coming out of a Terrific device, you know, a vehicle. And again, like I said, I think he looks good, and I think David Cornsweet looks good. So I'm happy with this picture. Again, I can't wait to see Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Metamorpho. But I think this looks great, and we're going to see more pictures with them together, and I'll be right back. Okay, now this picture is another picture of, we saw Superman looking up earlier by this location, but now we have Mr. Terrific with him. And again, like I said, I think they team up to do a rescue or something. Like I said, pictures that you'll see later with various members of Daily Planet coming out of one of, I think, Mr. Terrific's T-spheres, a ship and stuff. But this is a good picture of them together teaming up. You can see the fair play on his left sleeve, the jacket sleeve, but I think he looks good. Eddie Gathegi, I think he looks good as Mr. Terrific. Love the mask, love the hair, and David looks good in the suit. And again, I like them together. So I can't wait to see what adventure they're going to be teamed up together. And I think, again, I think Mr. Terrific are going to be good friends in this movie, and then maybe Mr. Terrific is going to have to convince the other heroes to trust Superman. I think there might be a situation like that, but I think him and Mr. Terrific are going to be, you know, good friends in this movie. I have a feeling about that. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, now this picture is a picture of them, again, Mr. Terrific and Superman looking up at the building. I think this might be the Daily Planet. You see the destruction around them, you know, the rubble and stuff, and maybe they're looking up to see what caused it and stuff. And again, they look fairly similar in height. I don't know how tall Eddie Gathegi is. We know that David Cornsweet is 6'4", so maybe Eddie Gathegi is 6'2" or 6'3". But again, they look good together as a team. I can't wait to see, again, them paired up and see, you know, and their friendship in this movie, and I can't wait to see it. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, now this picture is another picture. This looks like another behind-the-scenes picture of them setting up a shot. As you see David talking to I think that might be the repairman or, you know, the cameraman or whatever. You know, he has some kind of device on his back, but him and Eddie Gathegi there is talking, I think, between shots, because the other shot you saw, they were looking up. I think this is probably between the shot, maybe even before, and maybe that's assistant director telling him what to do. You know, they got to look up and pretend they're looking at something. And I think, but again, I think David looks good in the suit, and again, Eddie Gathegi looks great. And you can see more of the Fair Play logo on, you know, on his sleeve. Okay, again, I love his outfit. I love the hair. Love the mask. So I can't wait to see them in action and see the T-spheres, which will probably be put in with CGI, but I like it. So anyway, let's move on to the next picture. Okay, now this picture is like a close-up of Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, Michael Holt. Again, I think he looks good. I love the way the jacket looks on him and the mask, especially the way the mask is. And I think he looks really good. I like the hair. I know Grace Randolph of Beyond the Trail, she was saying she don't like his hair. She thought it was too 60s or whatever, but I think that's stupid. I think he looks straight out of the comics, and I really like his outfit. Love the way the mask looks, and I think he's going to be good in this movie. Again, I like Eddie Gathegi as an actor, and I think he's going to be good. Again, like I said, he's going to have a really good relationship with Superman in this movie, I think, and even maybe he can come to his help, come to his aid in a few occasions. But again, again, I can't wait to see Mr. Terrific on screen. Okay, I think they made a wise choice with picking this actor, and he looks good to me, so I'm happy with it. So let's move on to the next picture. And this picture is one of my favorites. It's a picture of course, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois, with the classic Lois top from the animated show, and soldiers in the background, and of course, David Cornsworth as Superman. I really like this picture, and I like, you can tell, the height difference, obviously, between Rachel and David, but I think they're going to have good chemistry, and we see her smiling a little bit in this picture. But I think they're going to have good chemistry together. Again, I haven't seen Rachel in too many things, but I think they're going to have good chemistry together. They look good as a pairing. And again, she looks really like classic Lois to me, and I can't wait to see her. I know she's a really good actress. People praise her a lot for the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I've seen clips of it and stuff, so I know she can act and stuff. And so I can't wait. Like I said, I was happy when they picked her as Lois Lane because I think she just has the look for Lois. And David, again, this picture he really looks like Superman in this picture. He really just looks like classic Superman in this. And like I said, I still think he's going to get a new uniform by the end of this movie. He's going to get the classic suit, I think, by the end of this movie. But I like them together, and I like the aesthetic of it. I like this picture, so I can't wait to see them together and see their banter and their chemistry together. And I think it's going to be good. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, this is another of my favorite pictures, and this is it seems like this is after whatever incidents happened, and Superman's going to check on Lois, and she's turning to face Superman, and it just looks like I love this, just this shot of them, looking at each other and him walking toward. I could hear him saying in my head, "Miss Lane, are you okay?" Or just, I don't know if she said call me Lois or whatever, but I just have a feeling they're gonna have great chemistry together. And I just love this shot. Okay, I think this is just a really good frame shot because you can see David, Superman striding towards her, and I think, they're gonna look good as a pairing. Okay, and I can't wait. And I heard, according to the rumor, he is gonna reveal himself to her. By the end of the movie, he's gonna reveal himself that he's really Clark Kent to her at the end of the movie, which I think is good. So not to drag it out, let him admit that he's Superman to her. And so I think that's going to be good. And again, I think they have really good chemistry together. And I can't wait to see Rachel in action as Lois. I think she's going to be one of the best Lois Lanes going. And I can't wait to see their chemistry together. Even in these pictures, I think they have good chemistry. And maybe I'm a little biased about that, but I think they do. So let's move on to the next picture. Okay, this picture is a combination picture that some people put together. You see David there, Superman. He's smiling. This is probably in between scenes and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad he's going to probably smile a lot more than Henry Cavill ever got a chance to do in his movies and stuff. So we're going to go see a nice hopeful Superman, a nice happy Superman, not all doom and gloom, but not a deconstructed Superman. And there's Rachel with her smile. And again, like I said, I think they're going to have great chemistry together, and I can't wait to see them together on screen. I wanted to put this picture here just to see them, side by side. And again, I think they probably kicked, when they did the screen test, they just knocked it out of the park because I just think they're really good actors, and they look like they going to have good chemistry in this, and I can't wait to see their dynamic on screen, especially the Clark and Lois dynamic and the Superman and Lois dynamic. I think it's going to be really good. So I think they got two classy actors, and I can't wait to see them together on screen. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, now this picture, I think this is a picture in between scenes. You can see Rachel laughing, and you see David smiling, and it's part of the other picture that I showed before. But again, I think they're going to have really great chemistry. I wanted to include this picture in there because I think this is like between shots and stuff, them setting up another shot and them just standing there laughing. Yeah, I don't know if they're laughing at James Gunn or something, he's telling a joke or something, or they're just laughing at somebody because it looks like they're in a good mood and a happy mood and stuff. Especially for the long day of shooting, the fact that they're in a good mood, and James Gunn is known to have a really good set, with actors and stuff, So I just think they're going to have great chemistry together, and I can't wait to see that dynamic when she first sees him. I can't wait to see that moment and stuff together, their on-screen dynamic with them together, and also, of course, the Clark dynamic as well. And again, I just wanted to include this in there because they're both smiling, and I think it looks really good, and they're going to be great together. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, this picture is very interesting because this is a combination of 3 different pictures. I decided to use this so you have Lois, Perry White, and Jimmy Olsen coming out of this space. It looks like a kind of a craft. The way it looks, I think it's one of Mr. Terrific's T-spheres, a ship actually. that he came out of, and I think there's going to be a moment where Mr. Terrific has to rescue the people from the Daily Planet, because you'll see in the next image some more members of the Daily Planet. But I like them coming out of that, and I know they'll put the CGI with the rest so you can see it. It'll probably be shaped like a T-sphere, a round circle, white, and I like it. It looks good of them coming out, and of course Perry White has the cigar in his mouth. Okay, and there's Jimmy Olsen to the right and Lois to the left. Okay, and I look good. I like this image. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, now this image is, of course, three more Daily Planet staffers. Steve Lombardi, Steve Lombard, excuse me, played by Beck Bennett. Then in the middle you have Cat Grant, played by Michaela Hoover, and then on the right you have Christopher McDonald as Ron Troop. Again, I think this is a scene where Mr. Terrific is rescuing the people. I don't know if the Daily Planet building is collapsing and he has to rescue them, and they all get into one of his spheres, his ships, and they all come out, and then you see shots of each one of them coming out separately, but I like to put this shot of them together. I think that's better. But again, like I said, I'm glad that they're actually showing Clark's Daily Planet colleagues, and we'll spend a lot of time with him in the movie at the Daily Planet. So we get to, again, like James Gunn said, you'll see Clark's superhero life and his work life. So I think that's really good, and I can't wait to see the interactions between all of the characters and stuff. So I like this picture, and I'll be right back with another picture. Now, these will be the last series of pictures I'm going to show you. This picture, you see a soldier pointing, and you see Superman's boots and his cape down, and he's being pinned down actually on the ground by a mysterious figure, which we're going to see in better pictures. But I thought this was very interesting to show, because this is a daytime scene that they're showing you Superman basically getting jacked and getting arrested by a mysterious figure, who we can only guess who that figure is, which I'll talk about a little bit. But I just thought that was a very interesting shot of Superman basically, laying on the ground getting handcuffed. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, now this picture, again, this is the individual that's basically handcuffing Superman. We don't know who this is. There's been a lot of speculation about who he is, that maybe this is Ultraman, the character, the alternate Superman from another dimension, or this could be a character, I think, named Ulysses, who came in the New 52, or they say this could be, again, maybe a clone of Superman who turns into Bizarro. There's been a lot of speculation, and if you look at the size of this guy, I know this is a stuntman that's underneath this thing right now, but they made him a big guy, and he looks almost as tall. I think he looks a little taller than David Cornsweet, so he's probably about 6'5". Although, like I said, I wonder if David Cornsweet is playing this alternate, Superman or clone Superman. There'll be a scene where he pulls off his mask, and you'll see it'll be David underneath it. I do wonder about that, but it's a lot of speculation about who this character could be. I'm up in arms. I don't know who it could possibly be. It could be Ultraman, could be the character Ulysses, which is kind of an alternate version of Superman, which I don't think it's that character. I think it's either Ultraman, who's going to turn into Bizarro, that I kind of believe, or a clone of Superman that, again, going to turn into Bizarro. That's why I think this character is going to be. Okay, and I think they put him underneath the thing because Lex Luthor is going to, clone him for the government, and he's going to be his version of Superman, but then it's going to go wacky when this clone goes nuts and turns into Bizarro. I can believe. Okay, so let's pick on to the next picture. Okay, now this picture is a picture of them walking down the street, actually a side view of it, and you see the engineer. I forgot the actress's name who's playing the engineer. It's her, Superman there, handcuffs with his hands behind his back. Rick Flag Sr., which you can't see in this picture, and then of course whoever the Ultraman or Bizarro figure is, but this is just a side picture, and I like this picture because you can see David walking with the soldiers, and you see how tall he is and how he towers over everybody else, really. And I think he's willingly giving himself up. I think in this picture, unless they got some kryptonite or something, I think he's willingly giving himself up. Okay, maybe the military, they come and say, we want to put you under arrest, and he willingly lays down and they handcuff him and stuff. Okay, so I think that's what this is, and him marching towards whatever vehicle they're going to put him in and stuff, and whatever containment field they're going to put him in. Okay, but again, I like the shot, so let's stop and go on to the next picture. Okay, this picture is a picture of Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo, and of course David Cornsweet, and then the arm you see in the back of Superman is that Ultraman figure, and of course the army guys in back of him. And again, I like Frank Grillo. He's a good actor. He's going to be playing Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos and in Peacemaker Season 2. And he's also going to be in this movie. We just kind of find out that he's going to be in this movie. And again, I think he's probably one of these fair guys, and I think he may even help Superman escape. I think he's just doing his job in this picture, and he may not even like the fact that he has to arrest Superman. And I think he may even be the one that maybe releases him from whatever containment field they put him in or something, or cell. I think, yeah, Rick Flag Sr., I think he's going to be a character that we like and stuff, and I think Frank Grillo can pull that off. And again, I really just, again, like this picture of Superman being, arrested again. I know it seems like Superman gets arrested in a lot of these movies and stuff, but again, I like this picture of these two characters together, and I like Frank Grillo as an actor, so I can't wait to see how this plays out. Okay, so on to the next one. Of course, now this other picture, this is another angle of the picture, and you can actually, in this picture, you can't see the engineer because I think she's on the side, but this image, you can see, the Ultraman guy, whoever he is, or the clone, he's, directly, controlling Superman as he walks. He's the cop. Superman has his handcuffed behind his back, and he's escorting him down to, I guess, whatever vehicle they're gonna put him in, or whatever. And again, I'm interested in seeing who this character is. If it's really Ultraman, or if it's a clone of Superman. Somehow, maybe Lex gets DNA of Superman and clones him. Okay, and then eventually he goes nuts and turns into Bizarro, and Superman has to fight him. They have to even let him out so he can fight him and stop him. Maybe team up with the other heroes to stop him. And I can't wait to see how this plays out. And again, I have full faith in James Gunn. So I'll be right back. I think we have a few more pictures. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, and this picture is another picture of the arrest, except for the back. I think this is in between scenes because you see somebody adjusting, I guess, his collar right there. And I like that. Again, you can see the yes in the back of his cape, which I really like that they brought that back. And you see the handcuffs, how he's handcuffed. Okay, and again, just with the soldiers in back of him. And again, I think this is a bit in between scenes because he's getting his collar adjusted by the assistant. And I really like the picture. Again, I like the S, and I like the way the cape hangs. And I like the logo being in back on the cape, just like Christopher Reeve, because it's been gone for a lot of movies. So I really like that. So let's move on to the next. And this picture is a combination. This is a picture of the Ultraman guy, whoever he is in the movie, and then the cartoon version of animated version, of course, animated, comic book version of Ultraman, and then Bizarro there. And again, people thinking that he's either Ultraman or either he's a clone. He's going to turn into Bizarro by the end of it. And I do wonder if David Cornsweet will play the other part, or they get another actor to play the part. But we'll see how Lex does it. But I just wanted to show you all three of the possibilities, the two possibilities that people think this character could be. Okay, but this guy is pretty big. I know that's a stuntman there, but we'll see if David Cornsweet's going to play the other version of that, if that's really a clone of Superman underneath that, and we'll see when he pulls that mask off, which will probably maybe be a shocking moment in this movie. And I don't think it's Ultraman for some reason. I think it's either a clone or Superman or somebody else. Okay, I don't think it's that Ulysses guy. I don't think it's him. But I don't think it's Ultraman because they may save that for another thing. I don't think it's him for some reason. But that's just my opinion. But I do think he may turn into Bizarro by the end. I think that is a possibility. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, this picture is of the other character they think this character could be, because he's dressed like him with the big U on his chest, except this character doesn't have a mask. And this is a character I think called Ulysses, if I'm pronouncing that right. Right? I think I am. Hopefully I am. But I wanted to show a picture of it so people can know who the other possibility. This guy is kind of like the reverse Superman, because he gets sent home from, he's supposed, like how Superman is the last son of Krypton, he's supposed to be the last son of Earth. His parents sent him off to a planet that was dying, and he gained powers that way, and he's like an alternate version. He has kind of like the same powers as Superman, but I don't think it's this character either, because I don't think this character, his backstory fits with the story that James Gunn's going to tell. So he just has the suit, and maybe James Gunn saw it and liked the suit and said, I'll use that for this character that I'm going to use. But I don't think it's that character. I don't think it's this Ulysses guy. I just don't think it's him. I think it's either a clone of Superman or somebody else who's going to turn into Bizarro, but not this character. I don't really think it's him. So let's move on. Now, this picture is supposed to be our first look at Clark Kent. Okay, I know people call him Broccoli Head because of the way his hair is this, and he has the glasses kind of down on his, and I like the suit that he has on. He has the Daily Planet in the briefcase, and they actually showed a video. Somebody has on their channel, they shot video of a shot overhead of him like weaving in and out of people, kind of, making sure he doesn't bump into people. Classic Clark. And I think he's gonna kind of return to that classic bumbling Clark. But I think this is good, the way his hair is designed, so that way he doesn't look nothing like Superman. He looks totally different. Rather than slicking his hair back, which I think would look kind of silly, because you could still tell that it's David Cornswet if he just slicked his hair back. Because Superman has the curl, but if you just slick David Cornswet hair back and throw glasses on, you say, oh, he's Superman. But at least this way, with his hair designed this way, and I know there's probably a better picture of his hair, but this way he looks totally different. He looks totally nothing like Superman, and he's probably a little hunched over and stuff. But I like the look that he looks totally different from Superman, which I think is a good reason. And I can't wait to see more of his interactions with Lois and with Jimmy and Perry and stuff. But again, I think it's good, and I can't wait to see his interactions with his parents too, the actors who've been cast to play his parents. And I like the look, because he looks totally nothing. You couldn't say that's Superman, because Superman has a total different look. His hair is totally different. So again, I know it looks a little broccoli. It looks like the promoter that owns AEW, Tony Khan. He has his hair bundled up in the front. But I think it's good that you have a total different look for Clark, so that way it's not so easy to say that, oh, he's Superman. Okay, so I like the look. So I'll be right back. Okay, this picture, and I have another picture. These should be the last two pictures. This is Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. You see he has kind of like a mark on his forehead, and he has like a covering over his head, and I think he's probably getting out of a car. And some people are speculating that maybe he got injured. Maybe the Bizarro snaps on him and throws him, and he bangs his head or something. But there's another picture that's, I think, a little bit more. You can see more of the back of his head. Okay, so let's get right to that picture. Okay, this is the other picture of Lex. You can see more of the scars on his head, because he has the thing down. You don't have the hoodie on. And you can see on the back of his head he has like a mark, and then on the side on the left. And people are, again, speculating that maybe the Bizarro Superman snaps on him or something and throws him, or he gets injured some way. And I think that may be a possibility, but I just wanted to throw those two pictures in at the end just so you can see Lex. But overall, I'm loving this, and I'll be right back with my final thoughts. Okay, like I said, overall I like the pictures. I'm glad we finally got some shots. We're waiting a long time to see some shots of David Cornswet in the suit. Okay, so I like what we see. Again, I know some people don't like it. Some people, again, taking cheap shots, calling it Party City and all this stuff. But I have total faith in James Gunn and this production. I think he's going to make a killer movie. James going to have total faith, because I believe he believes in the source material, and he's really, and I think that's why he decided to direct this movie as well as write it, because he loves the characters, and he's going to give us the best possible version of this character that we're gonna give a smiling, happy Superman, a hopeful Superman. So I'm beyond stoked for this. And again, for all the haters, I know there's still some Zack Snyder fans. I'm a Zack Snyder fan, but I realize we must move on to the next thing. So some people just need to grow up and get over it and get over themselves. This movie's happening. It's coming out, and I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see more behind-the-scenes things. And hopefully we get a trailer, maybe by Comic-Con or something, or by the end of the year. I'll take it either way. Again, let me know what you think of these pictures. I think they're fantastic. It just shows me that he has that James Gunn knows what he's doing, and he's going to deliver a classic movie with great actors and some great action in this. And I can't wait to see some shot of him flying, David Cornswet. I just can't wait to see him flying. And I still think they should maybe make Henry Cavill Jor-El on the side. That would be a great cameo to have Henry Cavill be Jor-El, because I think at the end of this movie, or some point in this movie, that Clark is going to go to the Fortress and get his new uniform. He's going to get the classic Superman with the classic S and stuff. That's what I definitely think is going to happen in this movie. Anyway, let me know what you think. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long, and take care.